Alright, with this everyone, we are back with a nice little 3v3 in Rome 2. One of Joe's streams where he was challenged to play factions he's not used to. I'm not actually part of this one. I had two before this, and this was an interesting one. I gotta choose the map though, and it is Carsagus, which this one and Massilia are almost identical. Massilia has the ocean, this one has the river. And Massilia has a broken piece of street. So if you will want a map like this one, choose Carsagus over Massilia, because you can't travel through this part of the street in Massilia, and it's never been fixed ever since this game has started. So this is actually a dead street there that you can't actually travel through, and it makes it a lot easier on the defenders, but also harder because you can't use that to reinforce, but the attackers can't use it to assault for the choke point. Fun fact there. With this 3v3, we do have Armored, which it's been a while since we've seen him, so we might as well start with his army here. He's got 3 Royal Peltists, including his general, 2 Archers, 2 Cretan Archers, 3 Lyrian Levies, 2 Mercenary Italian Spears, which, yeah, let's go. No one brings these guys, except for Gorm, and Gorm hasn't been around for a while, so I'm glad to see these bad boys right here. Of course, we also have 3 Italian swords, 3 mercenary Samnite warriors, and 2 of the greatest units of all time, the Mussilian dogs. Let's go. Doggos. Our heroes. Look at those. Look at those good boys. But of course, with that, he's not the only army in here. Let's skip on over to here, to Armenia, which is Green Trail here. He's got an Azet Knight general right there. He's also got himself 4 elite Persian archers, 2 axemen, 5 hillmen, 7 Kartli axemen, and 1 Persian hoplite, which they're going to win the day. Finally, we have Joe bringing us the beautiful Seleucid. He's brought an interesting army, one that I don't normally see from him, but he's got himself, well, obviously faction-wise, but army style, very elite heavy, which of course he's got a shield bearer general, 1 fixed ballista, 4 mercenary Syrian archers, and then 6 silver shield swordsmen. That's his army right there. Of course, on defense, we have Parthia as being played by Propane, Lusitani being brought to us by Automato. I love that we have a Lusitani. And Pontus brought to us by Titled Sum. Now, Propane and Titled Sum are one of the best 8 players in this battle, despite only being 6 in there, so you gotta give it to them. Nah, I love them. They always show up, and they're always good sports. They do like to... They do sometimes argue, but it is always in good fun. But with that, that is the army comps out of the way. Let's get this party started. I hope you all enjoy.
Shortly, we shall take this place from the enemy. When we do, take what you will, for your good efforts here should be rewarded with loot, slaves, and wine. Right, look to your arms.
Remember, everyone, the attackers are the good guys. Remember that. That is a guaranteed fact. I will always tell you that the attackers are always the good guys. Unless they have a general's bodyguard on Carthage, then they become the bad guys. Of course, the greatest thing of all time in this battle, you might have seen it as one of Joe's shorts, but he destroyed the Colosseum and killed a unit. I believe these were Theraiospheres. Just, that building went down and destroyed that whole thing, which is wild because it is such a far one, but I think this building is just as wide as these here. So he was actually really close to it despite the building collapsing there. Yeah, I think it ended up being like 120 died there. But remember, just like in Lord of the Rings, it only counts as 1. Of course, in this case, it counts as 0. But it's a spiritual 1, so remember to add 1 to the at the end of the army comps, like how well the ballista did. You can add an extra, like, singular kill. So we had an early little push out with a Hillman there to gauge the forces, but we're also having something similar with the Hillman here with Parthia. Interesting. Now my question is, Doesn't look like gates are opening, so no sally out along the side. Looks like we might be safe. It might just be a little bit of a Hillman push to stop them. Mercenary Italian spearmen moving along that flank. Ooh, that's a big open. What's coming out here? That gate's open for a bit. I don't like that. Still invisible, so that really makes it seem like it's cavalry. No, they're just moving back in. It might just be a unit of infantry that's too close, maybe. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh, Parthia comes out, and Cataphracts moving around the flank. Okay, interesting. Yeah, they're going to get probably a rear charge into those Illyrian levies that are beating the Hillmen. That's what I would do. And that is exactly what is happening, of course. Ooh, those poor Illyrians just got... Yep, those Illyrians were winning. Not anymore. Of course, these Hillmen are winning. Cavalry, honestly, yeah. Move the cavalry away. How are they looking? They're at 80 kills, lost 3 men. Perfect, perfect. Just that singular Hillman as well. Any secret flank here? No. Honestly, when that whole thing was going on, I probably would have moved another unit of cavalry or two to get into those Italians to see if I can get them in time. But Hillmen are having some trouble. I'm assuming he's probably going to move around to hit those levies. Those levies, I think, are going to get in position, and these are as well. Now, let's see how the cavalry charges. They're just going to move away. Probably a good play. But we see another unit of cavalry getting ready to go out. However, I don't know if they're going to get the charge off properly. Okay, they did actually manage to get the charge off properly. Nice. Okay, that's what I was worried about. We have Italians moving in. He's going to have to pull back those regular archers. Try to get into those Italians before that closes. You're going to have to get that other Cataphracts in at this point. No, he's just moving it back in. Okay. Okay. Ooh, that was a nice little bit of lag on a replay. It's always fun to see. Of course, with this, yeah, with that pulling back, he's probably going to try to sneak those. No, he's going to keep those Cataphracts out. Okay. Ah, here it is. We have, ooh, Iberian cavalry making their way out. I love Iberian cavalry, I'll be honest with you. Now, I usually use them on attack to exploit a gap because they are really fast, and with 50 melee attack, if you hit a weak unit or a flank, you're going to do a ton of damage. They're also great cavalry killers. Not as good as a spear-based cavalry, but 50 melee attack and some javelins, they do some really good jobs. And then they also have like a bonus to their charge. It is, you can kind of see it there. It's the frenzy charge they have. Yeah, 50, 39 melee attack, 75 health. Their morale's a bit low, but they do have javies, which makes them really good. And they're light cavalry, so they're really fast. Let's see. Still rotating around with that cav, yeah. That's a good play right there. Yep, a lot of units to go deal with it. Yep, he's turning these guys around. You're going to have to move the cavalry back, or you're going to take the javelins, but you're still going to take the javelins anyways. Ooh, down to 75. Honestly, at this point, you just charge. I would charge right here, get in, smash in. We have a unit of Parthian swords coming on out. Interesting. Iberian cavalry. Okay, they're going to rotate behind the infantry. Yep, okay. Smart play. Over here, not much happening. Oh, they actually got in. Interesting strategy. They did get into some of the archers, and they're going to actually cut down the archers pretty well. Look at those numbers drop. Before they move away. Yep. 47 kills, they've lost 3 men as a light cavalry unit. I want you to remember that. Nice hit with the Cataphracts. Broke that unit of... You could have just stayed in and just kept going. That's what you should have done. Get back in there. Turn them around, get back in there. Do some damage against those archers. There you go. Right on through, and then you can move on to the next unit of archers real fast. Do it. Oh, the dogs got released. Oh boy, that's going to be dangerous. Those dogs can do a ton of damage to cavalry, and they won't give up. They're at 200 kills. These, and they've killed an archer unit. They've done some real damage. Next unit of dogs coming out against the Iberians. That might be a bit of a problem. But the Iberian cavalry is fast, so they'll probably get into that cavalry at least. See what I mean by javelins? They got in, and watch how fast they start cutting down. Just because they have such good stats. Now, they are definitely going to lose to the dogs. Yeah, you can see. They're getting ripped apart by dogs. Heavy charge 210. They're losing to dogs as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, look at all those dogs that are just swarming them and just dropping the cataphracts. Great job, doggos. Dogs are still chasing over here. You can see them drop these guys down. This is why you bring dogs, by the way. They're, in my opinion, probably some of the best boys. I believe they're still chasing. Look at that. They're still chasing. They're faster than Light Cav. And they'll just continue to drop these guys down until they route off the map, and then they'll just sit in the corner. Because that's what they do. But with that, of course, let's see how this is going. Alright, we have Seleucid. They made their way in, leading with the Silver Shields, of course. Staying a bit back to avoid being shot by artillery. Or not artillery, but by archers. While Armenia gets ready to move into this pathway here. Probably if they smash through, they're going to be able to isolate this, force Pontus back, and be able to push here and along here, while Seleucid can push along here and provide support to here. They can push well enough on this front, they can kind of get around here, support Armenia, or continue to push along there and get to Epirus. But Epirus is doing pretty well. Ooh, no. Iberian cavalry. They're down to 12 men, but they did get into those regular archers again. Yep, there they go. They're done. They're going to be continued to chase down by dogs. Those Parthians have cut through quite a few, but, I mean, they're not fighting the elites of the elites. Like, the Samnites are still healthy. Samnite at 160, Samnite at 160, Samnite at 160. So they've been basically fighting Italians and doggos. And he still has all three of his Royal Peltas, so Epirus still has his core left. I did see 2 cataphracts, only one went down from what I can see, so he at least has 1 more cataphracts. So that's something to worry about. And Eastern cataphracts can be brutal. Those hillmen are done. One more kill. Come on. One more kill, hillmen. There are 69. They were at 69 men, but I don't think they're going to get 69 kills, sadly. 69 kills! Okay, now you can break. Yep, 69 kills, and they broke. Wonderful. That's exactly what they needed. Still not pushing along here. Armenia took some pretty big damage with that. Oh yeah, look at that. They're yeeting all their shots into those Cartleys. Hillmen moving in, Hillmen moving in. And now they'll move in and take this last one. Of course, with this, it's not going to break that one open, so it's just going to be a separate breach. Yeah. And leave that one piece of the wall up. Don't worry, you can garrison the wall from that position.
Double time.
Yep, here comes Silver Shields moving on over to go support immediately. Along with the Hillmen, yeah. Mercenary Celtics, Thraeos, Pontic Swords, Celtics. Or Celtics, as Joe likes to call them. I'm sure that's how he likes to call them. He won't get mad if I call them that way. What? I like how the dogs are pushing up the tortoise. Well, with that, of course, let's see over here. Alright, Seleucids are moving up. So let's see. Hillman fight. Hillman versus Celtics. Those Celtics are going to win. Hillman versus Hillman. That's Silver Chevron Hillman versus non-Silver Chevron Hillman. And they have tower support, so... bye-bye these guys. Yeah, they're just dropping. Yeah, I would just get those Silver Shields. Yeah, they're trying to get it so the Silver Shields can't do well. But with Joe not having any, how do you call it? Low tiers, that's the word. He is going to be required to move in Silver Shields first, as he's doing here. Nice volley. Nice hit. Then a volley, and then a charge. Let's hope he doesn't hit his own men with the arty, but he's usually pretty good. Ooh. Why do you immediately use the whip? I guess the bonus to damage. You didn't really need that against Celtics. Unless he has his general nearby. Which he doesn't. I don't know why he did that. Carly's cutting into Celtics. Yep, and Archer Fire able to go off. Nice hits onto those Pontics. Yeah, they're already exhausted now. Why would you have done that? I don't know. Yeah, those Carlys are getting shot in the flank now. Ooh, Iberian Slingers, nice hit. They're going to get into those Syrians and do some real damage. So the Syrians are going to have to retarget as well. Let's see what else we've got, of course. Yep, there it goes. They're actually going to do really well on those. I don't know who's going to win. Iberian Slingers have the faster shots, but the Syrians are just significantly better. These were Balearics, I would say this is a simple fight, but honestly... Okay. They got a second unit firing, and these Slingers are going to lose. So they are doing pretty well. Yep, they're starting to tear down. That's exactly what you want. But yeah, they're pulling back. They could have probably won that. Silver Shield's doing pretty well there. How's Epirus? Epirus is still sitting outside. That's what you kind of want to do. He's still getting the last bits of his towers to knock these down. Italian Spearmen and Italian Spearmen. Oh, the Slingers are winning. 115. The Axemen are winning, of course. Oh, this is going to be bad for them. Elite Persian Archers. These Slingers are about to get wrecked. Yep, they're going to have to pull back. They're actually doing really well in their fight, so congratulations to them. Almost tore down one unit of the units of Syrians. And Silver Shields are continuing to push along this breach. These guys are fresh. These guys are fresh, so someone... Ah, he got the cavalry to refresh the assets. I mean, not much he can do. He has to charge in. He can continue to push up here. But to be perfectly honest, despite even getting the flanking charge, those Silver Shields are going to crush. Yeah, look at those numbers start to drop. It is now even, now that the charges are finished, but it's going to switch back over to the Silver Shields, in my opinion's favor. Ooh, they might lose just because of numbers, but I mean, they've already lost 60 men, the Celtics. To about, what, 18? 19? And this is where you'd want to use the whip, to be honest. When you're outnumbered like that, just get as much damage as possible. Because you have so many of your units hitting into here. Ooh. $90 men down. Alright, what else do we got here? Okay, Axemen being supported by the Silver Shields. Again, exhausted. I really hate use the whip on fresh units. Quiet. Autoplay. Yep, those Axemen are going them. It would have been nice if those Axemen stayed, because they would have helped the Silver Shields a bit more. But over here, bit of a mosh pit. Carly's trying to break through Celtics. To be honest, they'll do well against the Pontics, but less so against the Celtics, just because of the damage. Alright. Yep, those Celtics are about to go. Sending these men in as a sacrifice to die. Let's see how well they do. Pretty well in that charge, actually. You can see they're still elites. They're up to 162. Nice. If that unit's going to still continue moving up into the next unit of Pontics. What about over here? Archers are dropping, yeah. I mean, you have to engage in the archer fight, but they're just getting cross-fired. But the infantry is doing an amazing job. Cartleys are now in, and now they're probably going to get the attacked in rear penalty on these guys. Yeah, these guys are about to get overrun. They're triggered on the wrong unit, so they're going. They should eventually stop. There we go. Yeah, that Iberian is fucked. That is just a mosh pit. Where are the elites for the Iberian? There they are. Veteran shields. And don't mind him, he actually doesn't have any Lusitani nobles, as I said during the stream. He does. That was a lie. Possibly. I don't remember. I was just saying shit at that point. Wasn't even watching. Pontic Swordsman doing some well-deserved damage. But yeah, the Silver Shields are running out of men, but they have torn through a lot of Pontus. It's leaving Armenia actually really well off. It looks like Epirus is moving his way over. He's abandoning that Parthian side, which is probably for the best. That does mean Parthian can aid, so you can see some Parthian foot archers here. Silver Shields still cutting through. And with this flank, of course, broken, they are now finishing off this Iberian. Veteran shields are just dropping to Cartleys. Of course, the slingers are also firing back. Oh, and yeah, he does actually have some... He does have a single unit of Balearics, which is... Ooh. Yeah, that's a single unit of Balearics. I mean, that unit's not going to live for very long. I'll be honest with you. Now, I don't know what's hidden here, but if he had a single unit of cavalry that he could have just ran right into there, that might have been very good if it was a heavier cavalry. Even a lighter cavalry might have done it. These Silver Shields are being now hit in the flank. They are actually cutting down still very well. How's this one doing? Still winning. Now Epirus can come in and properly support. What else do we have? Here's a Cataphract there. And a Royal Cataphract General. So that's still a very dangerous unit to have there. These Thureos are still holding out. Honestly, I love Axemen and Veteran Axemen. They'll do better against the Thureos, but when they fight low-armored things with less armor, they tend to suffer, is what I found, even if they're a better unit. It's the biggest downside I found with Cartleys. So I love these boys, and they do so much damage, but they start to suffer against the less armored factions. That Silver Shield is officially losing, so they're sending another unit in. How many Silver Shields does he have left unattached? One Silver Shield left. He just freed that one off, but they're down to 45 men. And of course the Shield Bearer General is now supporting. Move that in, probably just crush them. Yeah. Yeah, you needed to pop that ability, to be perfectly honest. Do as much damage as possible because you're not winning that fight. Not with the archer shots into the flank. Yeah, Parthia's starting to move himself over, so there's some Parthian swords. Volleys are ripping through Eastern archers because they are not the best. Ah, there's another unit of Pontic cavalry too. Nice to know. Silver Shields have moved themselves up this road to help cover. And these currently are pulling back. Yeah, look at what we just discovered. Veteran Shields, the Royal Cataphracts General, and of course, he pulled back because the Eastern Cataphracts is moving his way over. Alright, what else do we got? Okay, the Shield Bearer General has made their way in. They're going to crush that. And that is going to open up this front if they don't break through. Now that Empress is coming in, this is now going to be a little less. Silver Shields, yeah, the fresh unit of Silver Shields is in. These units are getting ready to break, so they're either going to have to pull back here. Yep, and that's exactly what they're doing. I would pull back that Thoreo Spear at this moment, to be honest. He could probably get them out. Oh, he's just getting volleys off. I mean, yep, Samnite's coming on in. Here comes the Empress front. Of course, with the Armenia having dominance over here, this could be very big for the collapse of this Colosseum zone. The question is, do they pull back or do they still try to tentatively hold that position? I think it might be best to pull back a little bit to kind of like here, that position, or maybe even here. That way it requires less men power. Yeah, these Silver Shields are just getting targeted. Ooh, poor boys. These Samnites are just cutting down. They can't do anything with those Shield Bearers, and now, yep, Saluka can now just fire right into that flank. Look at those slingers drop. I mean, that is some brutal crossfire. I don't know how long they can sustain that, though. There is still 3 Royal Peltists, though they have almost broken down the Silver Shields, so hey. That is a benefit there. Understood. Yep, he's just moved on in everything. Battle Rhythm, and now he's moving into Hoplite Formation. Yep, this is going to be... Fun fact, Hoplite Formation does give, despite all this, also a bonus versus infantry. You can't see it, it is hidden. Because it doesn't tell you there's bonus versus infantry with Hoplite units, because you have the bonus versus large. But if you look in the mod file, or the unit files, you can see that Hoplite Wall does give that bonus. You can thank Norris for that one. This unit of Samnites is going in. These Samnites are just suffering under arrow fire. But this is about to be broken open. That Persian Hoplite is going to save the day. Looks like some boys did suffer to a cavalry charge, though. 80 out of 80, 40, 71, but they lost, but they killed 60-something. Yeah. But this is the issue. Once they break through one spot, it puts a lot of pressure on them. Not necessarily here as much, but more along the lines of here or here. They could just start to hit hard. Yeah. I mean, that's a Pontic Swordsman General. That's not going to do too crazy much against a Shield Bearer. Sorry to say. Honestly, Shield Bearer gets second wind, you're set. Threos is about to drop. Alright, here we go. Azad's trying to cut off the Cataphracts. I don't think they're going to get through the units. Yeah, they did get into the archers. However, and the Azads didn't get much of a charge, but these guys are melee cav versus the shock cavalry. So sustained fights, melee cav always wins. Unless there's just such a disparity in units. And to be honest, they didn't get much of a charge against the Azet Knights, which is the only way Shock Cavalry really has a real good chance of winning. Similar to Shock Infantry, you don't want to keep them sustained because their lack of defense is going to start killing them. So we're actually, if I look over them, yep, that's why they're so low down on manpower. Azets are at 47, so they did take a pound in as well. So great job. This is what you kind of want to do. They did get a pretty decent charge. What are they at now? That should knock them over 100. Yeah, they are getting those charges and right into the elite Persian archers. Now the issue is this isn't the best charge, and elite Persian archers do actually have spears. So they do have a bonus versus large. Which is scary, of course. But of course, they're still going to slaughter. Yep. Cappadocian Cavalry holds them in place, and Shock Cav hits them in the back. Nice job. Or actually, the Iberians, the veteran shields are holding them in place right now. Yep, that's going to be beautiful. How's this front going? Ooh, they actually have another unit of cavalry. They have... Oh, that's not cavalry. That is Indian war elephants. Okay. Oh, boy. Honestly, move that shield bearer just a little further in. Just hit the Iberians. Oh, no, they'll let the Iberians hit him. Threas are now out of ammo, so they're going to have to charge in and get slaughtered. Indian war elephants, that's good to know. That could still be dangerous. Honestly, on that... And they are crushing this flank, so Iberians... The cavalry is winning this flank, of course. Yeah. This is going to be the last of it. Yep, there they go. Cavalry just... Ooh, Cappadocians just finished them off. Right on into them. Nice job, Cappadocians. They did an excellent job, to be honest. Yep, they're going to retreat around, and now Shock Cav gets in. That should be the finish off of this unit here. Of course, this unit's properly in shield wall, so that's going to be a pain. But the benefit that they have is this. Go right on out and around. They can do that. Cartleys versus veterans. Oh man, I'm pretty sure those veterans are just going to slaughter. But we'll see. They are losing a lot of men. Oh, there you go. But it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna start to even out as that Knight General is dead. Yep, once this fight starts sustaining, yeah. There's the Lusitani nobles. And Indian war elephants are preparing. I don't know what they're preparing for. They're just roaming around. Shield bearers, as I said, are just going to slaughter. Yep, more veteran shields facing off against these Cartleys. These Cartleys are going to slaughter. As I said, they do not do well against less armored factions, which is the sad part. Lusitani Noble is replaced. They have themselves a headhunt on. Oh god, that... yeah. Indian war elephants are in, but they did go berserk, actually crushing their own men. If they were lucky, they would have continued going. If they did, they probably would have... that probably could have won them the game right there. They are getting into these Seleucids, so the Seleucid are going to have to pull back or die. They are getting into there. Nice, nice, nice. They're tearing over the Seleucid. That is just such a brutal... Oh my god, those shield... war elephants have gotten over 160 kills. Of course, a lot more if they mention the men they killed, but those men were expendable if they were still there. What they need to do is be able to start going towards those peltists. Actually, ooh. Yep, and here they come in. I would second wind if you got it on your boys. Nobles still holding, and they're fresh again. Of course, here come the cataphracts. Uh-oh. Honestly, this cavalry might actually win the defenders the game. Oh my god, so many just dropped. That's huge. And then Cappadocian doing the same thing. Honestly, that is horrendous for the attackers right here. They just sacrificed. They just slaughtered that flank. Lusitani is going to be good to come around. Honestly, Lusitani needs to keep his men back. Pull his men back. Good, he stopped and moved them back. Perfect. Right into the back of the Royal Peltis. Ooh. They did get a slight charge in, but they just got slaughtered there. But of course, with Parthia getting around like this, veteran shields can get into the back of those Royal Peltists. Now, it wasn't much, but they did manage to get the rear charge in, which is a big blow to them kill-wise. Now that that unit's done, they can now turn around. It is heavily in favor of the defenders here, of course. Yeah. I think that cavalry flank around probably slaughtered them. Of course, the elephants actually did quite a bit of damage as well. Well, 3 Royal Peltists are pretty hard to deal with, but there's not enough of them. And I've never been the biggest fan of Royal Peltist. I'll be honest with you, I've always preferred the infantry variants. And that's just how I've rolled. Let's watch the ending. Yep. Cappadocians are now in. They're going to pull out, do what they can, but there is too much to stop. I mean, that's still 3 units of nobles. Yeah, these Royal Peltists are screwed. These Royal Peltists are going to chase these guys down. Yep, they're running. They're just running. They're like, fuck that. Yep, that's broken. This is over. That is over. I think, to be honest, the biggest issue was too many... Epirus is not a faction with a lot of good mid-tier. They have low tier than high tier, and then the fact that Seleucid had no mid-tier, I think, is what really hurt them the most. I think they did really good overall, but the nail in the coffin, I think the attackers still could have won, but the nail in the coffin was the cavalry into the back of both of these positions to cut them down. I say they could have won. It would have been a very tough fight at that point. But it was an amazing job from the Cappadocian cavalry, the general cataphracts, and then that initial eastern cataphracts, in my opinion, killing a lot of the low tier for Epirus, not allowing them to push here, forcing them along the flank, back towards Seleucid so Parthia can work on support. So, I would always like to hear your opinion on what you think could have gone better. Honestly, I think it was a lack of mid-tiers in my opinion. That's why I never liked top-heavy armies. But let us see how the army comps did. He did end up positive, more kills than he had men. 221 on the Shield Bearer General, 57 on the Greek Ballista. Remember, he got 1 kill for killing almost that entire unit. Syrian Heavies, 132, 173, 112. Then Silver Shields, 153, 277, 174, 155, and 169. Not the most amazing performance, but, I mean, if you cut down probably 3 of those and replaced it with Thorax, that probably would have done a bit better. Maybe even 4. Replace it with Thorax and change that to Silver Shield. But with that, Green Trail here. Asset Knight got slaughtered. 143 on the Elite Persians, 204 as well. I mean, he won the cavalry fight. The issue was they got shot, to be perfectly honest. But of course, when it comes to, let's see, honestly, nothing else really went too wild. I mean, he was a flank force. He kind of got hit hard. It happens, especially on those flanking forces. So, good job, Trail. Sorry that it had to go down that way, sadly. And then finally, we have Armored here. 120 on his Royal Peltis General, 69 kills, nice archer. 165 on that Cretan archer, 142 on that Illyrian levy. Poor Italians. 100 on that mercenary Italian swordsman. 121 on that Samnite, 128 on that Samnite. Musalun Dog's got 121 kills. Then, yeah. Propane here, bringing Parthia. 280 on that Royal Cataphracts, 204 on that Elephant, 210 and 213 on those Eastern Cataphracts. Wonderful job with those. Yeah, infantry-wise, he wasn't too powerful. 156, 129 on those Parthian Foots. Of course, 69 kills. Nice job, Hillman. 93 being the highest, almost 100. But 108, 139, 101, and 183 for those Parthians. So all those Parthians did well. Automato is Lusitani. I mean, he still had his nobles. This Lusitani noble has 131 kills and almost untouched. That is wild. Nice job with the Iberians. Balearic Slingers 152, 103 for that Iberian. Iberian Swordsman 165, 114. Of course, Veterans 133, 266. Nice job. Total here bringing the last army. A good number of Pontic Swordsmen, including his general. Let's see, 120, 151. And that Cappadocian Cavalry, like 241. He did an amazing job with that, getting into the flanks, exploiting weaknesses. Eastern Archers 140. Celtic Warriors 133. That's that poor Thoreus that got slaughtered. And 130 on that Silver Chevron Hillman. Wonderful job. Close battle. I think the cavalry is genuinely what clinched it in this fight. One is they just had so much, and there was no counter to that on the attacker side. Especially at the moments that they used a lot of their cavalry hitting into flanks. I think they did an amazing job with the shock cavalry and an excellent job with that Cappadocian. And honestly, even an amazing job with that Iberian. That Iberian did what he had to. He got into the flanks, harassed. They all did wonderful with the cavalry, and I think the calf plays is what secured it for the defenders. But I would like to hear your opinion, of course. What do you think secured it for the defenders? Is there a way the attackers could have won? But of course, leave that in the comments. Bye for now.